Hi everyone, this is Angelica and welcome to Tourism Series. Have you ever wondered how many intangible cultural heritage there is in the entire world? Refer to this picture and just imagine how many there is to the extent that this is called a constellation of a living heritage. But before going deeper into the intangible cultural heritage, let's first define these three words separately. Intangible meaning having no physical presence. Cultural refers to the norms, customs, and beliefs of a society, and heritage is a possession that can be inherited. Combining the meaning of these three words, and as per UNESCO's definition, it is something that takes up infinite forms and a source of human creativity and a cultural diversity that is passed on from generations to generations. What are the examples of these intangible cultural heritage? Kim and Paolo, can you give us some examples?
There, this is Kim. Today I'm going to discuss some examples of intangible cultural heritage that visitors are looking for during their vacation. Cultural behaviors are behaviors that has been passed through generations. Did you know why Philippines is frequently visited by foreigners? Because of their hospitality and welcoming treatment. Values are moral principles set by the community that one should possess. And children are taught to be disciplined at an early stage. Number 3. Ritual. Rituals are ceremonial acts that is performed to observe rituals or community tradition. One of the famous rituals in the world is the purification and bowing. Ritual is done at Tirtha Ample Temple. They dress in a Balinese Hindu costume, and it is one of the famous tourist spots in the world because of its ritual experience. Cultural traditions are cultural knowledge and information that is passed through telling stories to one generation to another. An example of oral tradition is the Hudhud chants of the Ifugao people. They do this during rice sowing season.
Aside from behavior, oral traditions, values, and rituals, intangible cultural heritage also includes attitude, beliefs, language, and performing arts. Attitude towards tourism is defined as a psychological tendency that the local residents have by evaluating the impacts like benefits, advantages and costs, or disadvantages of tourism development with some degree of favor. Some of the examples include positive and negative attitudes towards tourism development, which actually influence their support to the tourism. Cultural beliefs, on the other hand, are beliefs that are learned and shared across groups of people. There are a lot of cultural beliefs in the Philippines with regard to religion like Catholicism and Muslim, and other superstitious beliefs like kusog, knocking on wood, etc., that were passed from the ancestor until the present-day Filipino culture. Language includes Filipino as the native tongue of less than a quarter of the population in the Philippines, and it also includes around 170 indigenous languages with 100 more dialects. Lastly, there are several performing arts in the Philippines, those with Muslim or Spanish influences as well as those from the lowlands and mountains. Some examples are singkil, langka balwang, Cariñosa, Apayao courtship dance, Maglalatik, and many more. Intangible cultural heritage has a role to play in promoting tolerance, peace and reconciliation, fostering community and individual well-being, promoting human rights and sustainable development. But intangible cultural heritage is chronically at risk of disappearing in large part because of globalization. To address this issue, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, created the Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage in 2003.
To have a better understanding of the 2003 Convention, let us know first how this convention is created. Well, as a result of the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development being adopted in 2015, the critical role of culture as a catalyst for sustainable development and mutual understanding was recognized. The implementation of 2003 Convention is a major contributor to the fulfillment of this vision. In other words, the UNESCO Convention for the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage is a critical component of this advocacy endeavor. Now, Mr. Kunanan, what do you think the aims of the 2003 convention are?
Thank you for that question, Ms. Donyesa. The adaptation of this convention serves multiple purposes. First, to protect intangible cultural heritage. Second, to guarantee respect for the intangible cultural heritage of the communities, groups, and individuals involved. Third, to promote awareness of the relevance of the intangible cultural heritage at the local, national, and worldwide levels, as well as to ensure mutual appreciation of it. Lastly, to encourage and facilitate international cooperation and support.
Now that we know what intangible cultural heritage is all about, let us ask you these questions. Do you know what your intangible cultural heritage is? And if you do you take part in making sure that these cultural heritages are protected and will continue to foster? Make sure to use our official hashtags to join in our discussions or simply comment down below. We would love to see your comments. See ya!